Um, so yeah, so I think that that's like the perfect, um, I don't know, perfect segue. Segue into part two of this video, which is I had an epiphany last night before bed that was simply about this, all the things, and how it's like, how like I have all these thoughts and I'm like, there's no structure. It's just like, an ADHD thought bucket dump type thing. Well, I thought maybe I could categorize my talks into different buckets. Because I'm so like, how do I word this? Like I told my husband, I'm like, I'm so obsessed with so many different things. How do I focus on one thing? And he's like, you just focus on one thing. I'm like, no, I can't do that. But like, how can I create maybe five or six like overarching themes? And then all of these talks can go into these buckets of my thoughts. I think that could help people connect. And these dump buckets are like, let me see if I can give you the concepts here. Let me get an example. Like mindset was like one, mindset and behavior. And then there was like, the psychology and neuroscience. Maybe those were all together. There was about entrepreneurship was one, education was one, like sports psychology, like mindset was one. You can see they all kind of connect, but also they had like different things. And I think like if I can stick with like the consistency that this branding, like that this story, this channel will work, because I have a hard time choosing one topic to talk about. And I think that's why the title of my, I don't know, platform is All the Things. Like I have, I just have all these ideas and all these thoughts, and I don't want to lose people. Then like this girl's so scattered that like it doesn't make sense. So I do feel like I need some sort of alignment so people kind of know what to get. But the topics that I'm talking about aren't like completely random. They are somewhat in the same wheelhouse. And so I think, oh, and like parenting, I think was another one, like the parenting community type thing. Cause that was like, yeah, the entrepreneurship side makes sense. And then, yeah, the parenting was another big one. But I think that that would help my brain and help the audience, like with these different buckets, so people are structured and knowing at least what to get. I have been like in such like, again, not feeling great for 2 weeks again. I've been deep in thought in my morning routines of like, and I've still been doing this. I just haven't been recording. Like I've still been educating myself. I've still been kind of absorbing knowledge, but I just haven't felt good enough to regurgitate it. And I think that's also part of it is like I'm so in deep thought with like AI and education and technology that like I don't even know how to speak on it yet. Like I feel super overwhelmed and I don't feel like well versed enough in it to be able to speak on it yet. So again, the more knowledge I'm getting in these morning routines, this golden hour, I think the better. This also might be a new move. Like I mean, I was up at 3. I laid in bed till 4:30 and then I got up. Yeah, I wonder if I wake up like 4, if that's like a happy medium where I can do my research, my stuff from 4 to 5. And then I do my recording and editing from 5 to 6. That actually might be a play. That might be a play. Um, huh. Okay, something to think about, something to think about. Um, let's see, what other things do I need to update everyone on? I feel like I'm really deep in thought on figuring out my schedule for next year about teaching. I feel like I would like to take a step back again from teaching. I mean, I'm full time this year. Um, and last year I was part time, but I think I want to go back to part time, but a little bit differently. Whereas I was every other day, like all on and then all off. I'm thinking I might do like a half day and start at like 11:30 every day, and think that might help my mornings if I could again do this, like my learning, my podcasting. I can do the kids stuff in the morning, do drop off, do like lunches and things like that. And then I can even go do like a workout, like take a workout class, like a yoga 4 power, something like to make me really sweat. Um, I think that would be good to like build a little community there too. Um, and then I can shower and then I can go about my merry day and go to teaching. But I think that might be like a really ideal morning. And I feel like I'm like not at the point where I'm like, what am I waiting for? Like, what more signs do I need from the universe to be like, you should take a step back? I don't think ever in my life I have actually stopped and really thought for myself. Like, I feel like I have been on autopilot for all of these years. Like, it really wasn't until I think I was like 37 that I had a little bit of a wake up, really more intense at 38. And now that I'm 39, I'm like, okay, I need to put action behind these thoughts and behind these words because I'm I'm never going to be satisfied with myself if I just keep going through the motions. You know what I mean? And I can't practice what I preach. Like I'm like you got to find your passion, you've got to actually go for what you want. You got to listen to these signs. You got to think. Like my whole concept, my whole thing is I don't want people to think what I'm thinking. I want people to think, just think for themselves. And I'm really trying to do that as a teacher with my students in my business classes, with education, with entrepreneurship. And I'm also really trying to translate that into my life of like I want like my kids to just think. My oldest, who is the one who's sick, she asks such good questions. Like I'm gonna start documenting them. That another thought I had this morning. I wrote this in my notes because I feel like she's asking so many curious questions. I'm like, I want to remember these and I want to be able to like share this story. And so one of the questions she had last night in the bath, this is the only one I wrote down because I remembered it, but she asked these good questions every day. So I need to figure out how to remember what they were, or I guess I'll just start now for the questions that she asked. But how come it makes noise when you clap above water? And she's in the bath. She goes, how come you can't hear, like, how come it doesn't make noise underwater? Now, think about that question coming from a 6-year old. The fact that she took a moment to be in that with her two other sisters and was like, and had that connection to notice there was a difference and to actually take the time to ask me and her dad why. And she has so many of these questions. I think, I mean, she's asked literally the question of like, why is the sky blue? You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, she is so thoughtful and curious. Um, that like, I want to pull that out of her. Like, the more she can be curious in this world, I think the better off. If you numb your brain the way I did and I didn't ask questions, just went through the motions, and all of a sudden you're going to be 30, 9, and you're gonna be like, "What did I just do with my life?" Um, so yeah, I think that to me is like pretty special. I really want to foster that curiosity. I also really want to foster the creative bone. Like I really I'm so sure that like kids I think the college degree is going to be no longer a thing because I don't think college degrees matter anymore. I think it's literally the person that you are. How creative can you be? Everyone can market themselves now with everybody having their own platform of whether it's social media, like any one person can create content. If you have a phone and you have internet access, you can become anything you want to become. I truly believe that. I think you have to have that mindset though to be like, okay, I'm going to create this life for myself. Because so many people are like, oh, yeah, I just go to school and then I go to college. Like everyone just is like, tells you what to do. They're just going to push you along. You're just like, okay, here I go. I guess go to college. After college, I'm supposed to get a job. After I get a job, I'm supposed to meet somebody. And after I meet somebody, I'm supposed to marry him. I'm supposed to have kids with them. And then you just rinse and repeat. Now you have kids, and now you're just supposed to do what you're supposed to work and you're supposed to have kids. It's like there's nobody like parenting these kids. They're just having kids to have kids. You're not being intentional with everything you do. And I think that is something that I super lack is being intentional. Like I want to be intentional with everything I do. I just don't have time. So I'm just spread thin and I just go through the motions. Like because I have too many things, too many titles, too many whatever on my plate, I am not my best self. I am the most average person in many categories. Average like teacher, average business owner, average entrepreneur, average parent. You know what I mean? Like, and that's me probably downplaying it. I'm sure I'm better than average in those categories, but like, unless I'm intentional in all of those categories, if I'm intentional with my parenting, intentional with my entrepreneurship, with my business management, skills, with my teaching, then I'm not going to be good at any of those. I'm also not going to feel fulfilled in any of those categories. Like my buckets will not be full if I just go through the motions. Same thing with like my relationships and my friendships. Like that's something that's really, really hard for me to think about because it's like I've wasted all of these years going through the motions instead of actually really being intentional and feeling them. And so now, as I've woken up in the last year and a half, I would say more so even in just like in the past year. I would say it wasn't until I started waking up at 5 a.m. that I realized that I could use my brain to think for myself. I'm going to even go there. Like, I'm going to say it was all leading up to that. When I turned 38, I had a video and I think I made it on TikTok and I left it as a draft. And I got a new phone and all those drafts were gone. Um, but I want to say I remember recording a video of myself being like, I'm 38. I'm going to just see what my life is. Like, I don't know. I just knew that there was like something symbolic about going into 38. Um, and I remember hearing a quote too. I think it was from Aaron Rodgers from like it was like when he was 38, he stopped listening. Like somebody told him like, don't listen to like critics who you wouldn't take advice from, which I was like, oh, wow, wow, wow. I appreciate you guys being, being here. If you're still here, this is going to be great. I have a really, really good feeling. So thanks for sticking around. It'll be worth it in the end. Until next time, hopefully it's not 14 days, but we'll see you soon.